Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. In case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. Today we're doing a nice full body flow, so find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So let's begin today in just a nice comfy seat. You might put your hands on your knees, maybe in your lap. Letting your eyes close whenever you're ready to do so. And then with a slow, deep breath in, bring some nice length into your spine. And a deep breath out. Doing that again, a slow, deep inhale. And let it go. Let's do that one more time. A deep breath in. And a deep breath out. You can start to turn your chest over towards the right side. Maybe moving your hands to the floor in front of you and behind you. Pushing into your fingertips to lengthen through your spine. Let your shoulders fall from your ears again. And then using an inhale, gently turning your chest back to face forwards. You can keep going to the other side. Maybe push the ground away. A nice long spine. A gentle twist. Let's use another inhale to find our way back so that you're facing forwards. Maybe your hands come back onto your knees. Close your eyes if they opened on you. Bring some more length into your spine. Take a moment here just to scan your body. Sitting still, maybe. Just checking in. And when you are ready to move, you can let your eyes open. We can make our way into tabletop, onto our hands and knees. Once you get there, bring your hands, your wrists right under your shoulders. Spread your fingers out nice and wide. We're going to start by rocking, maybe forwards and back. You can think about the shoulders, or you could think about the movement through the hips. But you might turn this rock forwards and back into a half circle. Maybe starting over the left wrist, pull back, move over the right wrist. Continue to just sway side to side. Stretching the wrists a little bit. Maybe loosening up through the hips at the same time, depending on how big this movement is. And then the next time you come back through center, just bring the chest, bring the shoulders so they're over top of your wrists again. You can tuck your toes and lift your knees into a downward facing dog. Maybe pedal your feet a few times here. Lift and lower the heels. Push into your hands. Let your head, your chest be heavy. Sending your hips high. Feeling the love through your arms and shoulders. Then use an inhale to look forwards. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Take as many steps as you'd like. And once you get there, inhale for a half lift. Lift your chest, lengthen your spine. Exhale as you fold. Bend your knees. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reaching up. Exhale. Let your arms fall to your sides. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale to fold forwards. Inhale. Half lift, exhale, fold, planting your hands, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Push into your hands, send your hips nice and high. You can walk your feet together. We're going to lift our right foot up. Maybe your big toe can rest on the back of your left heel. Maybe you can cross your legs more than that. Maybe the right foot can touch down on the left side of your mat. So we can keep our hips lifted, our knees lifted, downward dog with some crossed legs, or we can start to slowly bend the knees and see if they can come all the way down to the mat with our legs crossed, and maybe our toes are still tucked under. Maybe you can add just a gentle sway forwards and back if your hips will allow you. And then if you did bring your knees down, we're gonna lift them back up and come back the way we came. Push the ground away, find your downward dog, and bring your right foot back next to, beside the left one. Push into your hands. You can start to switch sides. Your left big toe might rest on the back of the right heel. You can stay here. You could try to touch the left foot down on the right side of your mat. You can stay here too, or you can start to bend your knees and see how low you can get them to the ground with your legs crossed. Don't let your toes untuck. Maybe a gentle sway forwards and back. Maybe it's a very, very small movement. And then lifting the knees once more. Lift them back up. Find your downward dog. Bring your left foot back so it's next to the right one. Push into your hands again. Lift your heels up nice and high, maybe on the balls of the feet. Lower your knees down. Back into your tabletop, where maybe your knees are together and your feet are together. You can start to sway forwards and back with the toes tucked under. Maybe the knees are together. Maybe the toes are together. So you can make this as small or as big as you'd like. As your hips get closer to the heels, you might feel a toe stretch. You might push into your hands a little. As your shoulders come forwards towards the fingertips or past, you might feel the wrists. And then you can decide how big this movement will be. For one more sway, back and forwards, and then stop with your hands over top of your shoulders, or your shoulders over top of your hands is probably the direction they are. And then untuck your toes. Just rest on the tops of the feet for a second. Scoot your knees out wide. Maybe your big toes can touch as you send your hips back towards your heels and come into child's pose. Relax your chest down, your forehead. Soften your shoulders. Check in with your wrists. Slow down your breath. And when you're feeling good to move again, start to make your way into tabletop, back to the hands and knees. Spread the fingers out, bring the knees in, tuck your toes. Lift up into downward facing dog. Take a big inhale to look forwards. As you exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat. Once you get there, inhale for a half lift. Exhale, folding back down. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching up. Exhale, letting your arms fall to your sides. Stay standing, but step your feet. Mat width apart's probably good. Turn your toes so they're pointing forwards, not out, not in, but forwards as much as possible. Your hands can find your hips and inhale to lengthen. As you exhale, start to bend the knees and tip forwards. See how low you can go, bringing your hands to the floor in front of you. And then if they touch down, you can start to take the bend out of the knees. Let the arms dangle, or maybe your palms are touching down. Maybe it's your fingertips. Maybe your hands can't quite reach, but if you're able to bend the knees so much that you can touch down, go for that, so that maybe as we start to sway again forwards and back, maybe your hands can be touching the ground. Maybe the shoulders can move towards your fingertips. Maybe you're shifting your weight between your feet and your hands. And maybe you're getting a nice stretch through the legs. And then just slowing down any movement. Take the weight out of your hands. Maybe hold your elbows so that your hands are not touching the ground. Tuck your chin towards your collarbone a little bit more. Maybe looking between the knees. You can add your sway back in if it feels good. Or you can be still. But think about the upper body being nice and heavy here. Pulling away from the low back to create space, openness through the low back. If you are holding your arms, bring your hands down again, maybe bending the knees so much that you can plant your hands. We're going to walk our hands forwards, kind of towards the top of our mat, and then we're going to walk our feet back so that we're going to end up in a downward dog. You can walk your feet in a little closer together so they are about hip width apart. Push into your hands, let your chest get heavy. Stay for an inhale. As you exhale, lower your knees down to your mat, cross your ankles, and then sit down, bringing your legs in front. Taking a moment to maybe hug the knees, do a little rock side to side if you'd like. Maybe you can hold your elbows again. Just take a moment to slow down again. Come back to your breath. And you're ready to lay down on your back. You might end up hugging your knees towards your chest and holding or trying to hold or work towards the elbows. Maybe not. You can always keep your feet down. But if you lay down and your knees want to come towards the chest, you might lift your shoulders and your head a little bit to give them a nice big hug. Maybe you can rest back down. Keep squeezing everything in. And if you're feeling your hip flexors, Breathe softness into them. And if you're hugging your knees nice and tight, slowly, slowly start to release that hug. Let your knees move away from your chest. If your feet are still lifted, you can also bring them down now. And maybe bringing your feet together and letting your knees fall out wide. Make a diamond shape with the legs. Release the hip flexors. Closing your eyes if you haven't done so already. Finding stillness throughout your body. Just coming back to your breath. One leg at a time, you can start to move your legs out long. Your feet out wide. And just settling into Savasana. Find the stillness throughout your body. Find a smooth, effortless breath. And stay here for as long as you have time for today. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time, namaste.